Morena, and welcome to this week's live. I'm about to head off to a yoga class, and I'm actually on a day off for all of the reasons that you will have heard about. If you follow my blog, if you saw last week's live, if you've seen the newsletter this week, then you'll know that I'm taking it a bit easier of late and recovering from a recent illness. So today's my day off. I'm heading out to yoga, and I'm also getting a tattoo this afternoon, which is quite exciting. And that's what I wanted to talk about, this concept of tattoos and transitions, because the tattoo I'm getting this afternoon is to mark my citizenship and becoming a Kiwi, which is, I've been here a decade, it's a transition. And the last tattoo I got was also part of a transition. And it's, I guess, ancient art forms, we've used tattoos for years in different cultures, and it normally is to mark transitions. And I guess that's been true for me. And I want to talk particularly about the transition of my last tattoo. And those that will have seen me in yoga probably have seen the tattoo, because it's on my foot, the lotus. And the concept of the lotus, this tattoo I got done maybe 5-6 years ago now. Just after I'd come back to New Zealand. I was up in Russell, actually up in Northland. I'd been teaching yoga at a retreat centre up in the Hokianga, and the lotus is synonymous with Buddhism. And I'd recently come back from a trip that I was lucky enough to be in Bhutan, the kingdom famous for gross national happiness in place of gross domestic product. I learned a lot about Buddhism. I taught English to Buddhist monks in Thailand, and I'd also spent time in France that year in Thich Nhat Hanh's plum village. And of course, Thich Nhat Hanh is the Vietnamese Buddhist monk coming to the end of his life now, actually in his 80s, back in Vietnam after suffering a stroke a couple of years ago. Has written many books, one of which is called No Mud, No Lotus. And this is where I first came across this concept that I come back to so many times and talk about a lot in my resilience work. And I guess this is what led to the tattoo on my foot. And it's this concept that is used in Buddhism a lot, that the lotus will grow through the mud. So it starts off in very shitty, murky, muddy circumstances, and it's through that it's able to grow and bloom and be that beautiful flower that we see. And of course, without the mud, there can be no lotus. And that's this whole concept of how we often grow and transition through our challenges. It's often the tough stuff, the mud, the things that challenge us, the things we have to wade through, that build our resilience, that help us bloom, that help us become the people that we are today. And of course, we would not be the lotus that we are today without the mud that we've grown through. And so that's why that belongs on my foot, that tattoo. And it marked a major transition of my life when I'd come out of the corporate world, learned so much about myself and Buddhism and mindfulness and tapping into this inner peace, but also using our challenges to grow. And so to mark that last transition 5 years ago, I had a lotus tattooed on my foot. And today, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm sure I'll show you in next week's live, hopefully. But you can have a guess. It's to mark my citizenship. It's not very original. It's quite Kiwiana, and I'll no doubt send you a photo of it when I've got it done. So that's me, that's today. There are a few consultation calls left for this year. So as we approach the end of the year, I've got a few gaps left in my calendar for the 20-minute free consultation calls. So I'll pop the link in this live, and if anyone is keen to have a chat with me about how I might be able to help you, whether it's building resilience, self-care, looking after yourself, balancing the busyness, helping make life less crazy, planning a career change, or just being comfortable and confident in who you are and overcoming your imposter syndrome, then let me know. Let's have a chat and see how I can help. There's a heap of events that I'm working on over the next few weeks in terms of setting up for next year. So excited about that. And of course, there will be the inevitable summer break in between, which I think we all need. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So it's time for me to head off to my yoga class and then obviously to the tattooist. That's very exciting. I will keep you posted. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. Matiwa.